Hello, podcast listeners. We know podcasts are a great way to catch up on a program that you may have missed on KSJE, and it's provided as a free service of this radio station. But you know, KSJE is now listener-supported, and so while you enjoy this podcast, we hope that you'll also take some time to join KSJE. Become a member today. It's quite easy to do. Just go to our website at ksje.com/support and pick the level of support that best matches your budget. Thanks again for listening. Here's your podcast. Ten minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Thursday morning, the, 20th day already of August 2026. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Michlin. Thanks for tuning in to KSJE. We're at 90.9 FM over the air right here in San Juan County, New Mexico. In Durango, Colorado, you can listen to us at 103.3 FM. And if you're hearing my voice anywhere else on the planet, you've gone to our website to tune in, ksje.com, or maybe you've asked your smart speaker to play KSJE, or you could be listening through the KSJE radio app. However you have found us to listen this morning, welcome, and thank you for doing that. Also, welcome to folks who are watching me right now, because the video of this program is streaming out live to the KSJE Facebook page and also to our YouTube channel. So lots of ways to connect with KSJE each and every weekday morning here. Coming up in the next few moments, we are getting an update on economic development activities here in San Juan County. Tim Gibbs is my guest. He will be here in the next few moments, so stay tuned for that. And then later on this hour, I'll be checking in with U.S. Senator Ben Ray Lujan. He is visiting the district this week, in Farmington specifically. He'll be talking about some of the legislation he is working on and some of his comments from being here in the district. So stay tuned for that conversation coming up today at 8:45 on KSJE this morning as well. Of course, as always, Mick Hess will take over the studio at 9:06, Roving with the Arts. It's our weekday classical music program. That'll take us to 9:30, and our monthly program, Native Art Voices of the Four Corners, hosted by Vinaya Yazi in conjunction with the Northwest New Mexico Arts Council. You'll hear that today at 9:30 on KSJE as well. Don't forget, you can find us over on Nextdoor, X, Blue Sky, Instagram, in addition to Facebook and YouTube. And we publish podcasts almost each and every day, so if you subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, you'll get a new local program in your feed on an almost daily basis. You can also find our podcasts, you can listen live and much more on the KSJE radio app, available to download. And outside our studios right now, it is 72 degrees at the moment. We're expecting more sunshine, more hot weather, 94 for a high today in Farmington. Partly cloudy skies tonight, the low 68. It'll be partly sunny and 93 tomorrow. Partly sunny on Saturday, 89 for a high, 91 on Sunday, 90 on Monday, and 91 on Tuesday. Maybe a chance of showers on Wednesday of next week with a high of 92 degrees. Back with my guest from Four Corners Economic Development right after this on KSJE. KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center. It's physician-led and supported by specialists, so patients can receive the treatment they need right here at home. When every minute matters, dedicated caregivers are here for you. San Juan Regional Medical Center, serving the Four Corners region for generations. Find out more at sanjuanregional.com.
Now back to Studio A and the award-winning Scott Michlin morning program on KSJE.
I'm back at Studio A this morning with my guest, as I mentioned, from Four Corners Economic Development. Dr. Tim Gibbs is back with us this morning. Dr. Gibbs, good morning.
It's always good to be here. Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in and sharing some of your knowledge about your work that you've been doing last couple of weeks here over the summer for economic development. You had a breakfast briefing recently, right?
Yeah.
Not too long ago.
Yeah, on the 12th.
Yeah, that's right. So that went over very well. Talking housing, that was your focus, right?
Yeah, and it's an important topic. People, they may think there's a dotted line between housing and economic development, but just in generality, if you don't have workers, you can't have economic development.
True, right.
And right now the workforce is so incredibly important, and you got to have housing. And all levels of housing, affordable housing, all the way up. Mm-hmm. So from affordable all the way up to retirement communities, we're just short on housing.
Right.
And the things...
And we're not alone with that either.
We're
right?
not.
That's a big problem almost everywhere, I would think.
We're not. In fact, there's a governor's conference for economic development coming up in September. And we applied for an award, even though we just started this initiative in housing. And the reason we applied for it, well, a couple of reasons.
Yeah.
One, I was told to apply.
Right, okay.
First. But second, we're trying to challenge the economic development folks around the state to think about this issue more holistically.
Right.
That it's a driver of your local economy, that you're going to lose population, you're not going to grow, you're not going to have the opportunity to be all the things you want to be in a community and have the economy you want unless you have housing.
Right.
And
Sure.
you need housing that meets the type of opportunities you have in community. Our housing in San Juan County went up in price 9% last year. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty good jump in the price of housing. The down valley effect of what's happening from Durango as well. Durango, the average cost of a house in both Durango and La Plata County is over $1 million.
Right.
And that's 2-bedroom, 2-bath, bath and a half.
Yeah.
We're not talking mansions, 1,300 square foot. It's $1 million. And so
My little brain is trying to wrap around that number, but okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the realities of that market.
But the realities of that market has impacts to our market as well.
Sure.
Now we have some growth, we have some good things going on here, but we have to think about this, and we have to be able to try to go back to our presence, and we're kind of in the middle ground between the public and private.
Right.
We can bring our public partners to the table. We can work with the private. We can show people the opportunities for development. We can do things that potentially would lower the cost for housing, especially for affordable housing. Infrastructure is a vital component, but it's an expensive component. If there are parcels that have infrastructure that can be identified and be used for those type of housing, certainly it can lower the cost of that. Mm-hmm. So working with our public partners, it may be that we're identifying parcels, we're identifying infill, we're identifying pieces and places that's got infrastructure that's critical for housing and the development of housing, both single family, higher density, all the way up to even retirement type housing
Sure.
as well.
Okay, got you. And that's, I guess, part of the thinking behind this housing coalition that you've kind of brought together to kind of be talking about these very issues that you mentioned?
It is, and we had a breakfast, a quarterly breakfast meeting last week on this topic. We had about a little over 100 people show up for
Nice.
probably not the most exciting thing, but it's critical to our success.
Right.
It truly is. And we had a consultant that we've hired to come in that's done a lot of housing studies and had some success in New Mexico with other communities that have built hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of units and had some real success about taking parts and pieces and aligning it in a more efficient way. And also aligning it with both state and the limited amount of federal resources that may be out there for you have vision of what you can do today and what you're working for tomorrow as well.
Right.
So the Housing Coalition, we stood up under Four Corners Economic Development, eventually probably be on its own. But we want to nurture it, we want to support it, we want to make this take root in this community and start the work, because there is some work that can take place immediately, and there's some that's going to take some time for it to germinate and take hold.
Sure.
My chairman, and I've got a new chair now, actually, challenged us to see a 2x4 or a metal studs to be standing up somewhere in the first year. That's a hard challenge.
That is.
But there are people that's pent-up demand that are looking for help, and we're already in some conversations to see if we can help some individual businesses, some of the larger businesses here, do some things for the demand of housing they have for either their existing people or the folks they're trying to bring into the community as well.
Okay. And this coalition includes, I would think, private industry, public partnerships, your organization, the cities, the county, all those groups are part of this coalition? More or less?
It will, yes.
Okay.
We're standing this up on its own legs now.
I see.
So the official board has not been selected. We've done a lot of listening sessions.
Okay.
We did one last week, in fact.
Right.
Where we had the school system, we had the college, we invited the college to participate in it as well, because we need these unique voices. Mm-hmm. What is it like for them, for their existing workforce? What's it like for the people they're trying to recruit to the area? Are they seeing these issues, and how can we help with those things?
Right. Got you. You mentioned your new chairman, so I want to ask you about him because new chairman of Forset, right? So giving you some, I guess, direction and some deadlines and things like that and vision.
Well, I worked for a board, and Vince Moffitt had been my chair for 2 years, and I'd been here. It'll be 3 years in February. Wow. So 2/3 of the time I've been here, or over, I've had Vince as being my chair.
Right.
And now I got Andy Hawkins, and Andy Hawkins is the community affairs manager for Intech, which is Navajo Traditional Energy Company.
Right.
Andy had spent he's career military. 21 years in the Ohio National Guard before coming here to work for a group that was subsidiary that turned into Intech as well.
Got it. Right.
And it's really interesting working for a different chair every 2 years, and I've done that throughout my career. Each one has their own priorities,
sure,
has their own style, has their own communications, and it gives me an opportunity to kind of refresh, to think about what I do, how I'm presenting it, what they want to see, how to make the time, because these busy guys. Vince has 800 employees.
Yeah,
so to me,
based in health companies.
Yes. For me to get in and have time with him, quality time with him, I had to be on point on my communications of what I was providing, when I was providing, how I was providing it to him. And I've already learned Andy has his own way as well.
Sure.
So for me, it's an opportunity to learn, maybe broaden my perspectives a little bit. But he brings some real strengths to the table, and hopefully I'm going to chance to learn, and some of those things will rub off on me. But he's put some challenges before us and the board.
Right.
And it's been a little refreshing.
Nice. Very good. Well, good luck. Let us know how it goes. I'm sure you will, and report back and see how things go with that. Another thing I want to ask you about is an event that's coming up in November.
Yeah.
I've seen kind of the save the dates already out there, but that is the annual Edge Awards put on by Forset to honor and recognize local businesses. You very graciously invite me back every year for some reason. I eat my weight in food, but I appreciate it. But that's coming up in November, right? A big deal for the organization.
Yep, we set the date November 12th, and it's not too early to start thinking about these things. It's still going to be hot over the next week or so, but in the mornings there's a twinge of fall.
Maybe, right?
Maybe,
a little bit,
that you can find out there if you get up early enough.
Yeah.
Maybe. We're thinking ahead, and the reason why is we ask people to nominate businesses.
Yeah.
We want to tell the story of our local businesses, and some of them, every year there's a heartfelt story, something that just moves an audience of someone that either was an entrepreneur or took the family business and grew it in different ways. But the stories of this community and of these businesses that serve our people and serve these communities are incredibly important. So what we're doing is we're giving them the opportunity to share to the community where they are, how they got here, what they do. It's just a great story.
Sure.
And to celebrate what makes this community and what's built this community over the last 100 years is a powerful endeavor and something we're honored to do. And we appreciate you as well lending your voice.
Thank you.
We invite them to come on and do radio interviews so they can do a deeper dive.
Sure.
And tell the community.
Well, telling that story is really cool to a bigger audience because we all can't fit into the country club, but we'd like to, but we all can't. So this offers us another opportunity to share that story with a wider audience, and so we appreciate that too. And some of these stories are fascinating to me, because I've heard of these businesses, in my years here, but really never maybe knew the story behind the story of how they got started or what they started as, maybe a little mom and pop, and now it's a multi-international, business based right here. And so it's always fascinating to me to be part of this event and learn more about these local businesses and business people.
So much of what we do when you think about economic development is about the recruitment side, and we're probably going to talk about that even today because it is important.
Right, sure.
But if you don't start at home, to take care of the businesses that you have here,
right?
Many times they say it's retention or expansion, but it's more than that. It's understanding, it's having the conversations, it's putting them in position where they have every asset that any company, whether they're new or old here, can tap into, for they can keep growing and innovating in this community and supporting the community that may be their home. And it has to start there. And the Edge is just one way that we can once again shine the highlight on the companies and the stories and the people that's built San Juan County.
Yeah, no, very good. So save the date, everybody. That is the message this morning, November 12th. That's a Thursday. You're still taking nominations?
Oh, yeah, we're just
For
starting.
these businesses too, right?
Yes.
So that's also starting up.
Yep.
So go to the Forset website. I'm sure you can find out more details on that, and stay tuned for more information. But again, it's an exciting event. I'm proud to be a part of it. So thank you again for including me and talking about business recruitment, site development, things like that. That is another part of the job that you do, and that never stops. I think it's ongoing, constant, isn't it? Looking for and answering questions and responding to possible RFPs and things like that.
Well, there's so many. First off, there's different ways that companies can get to your doorstep.
Right.
But they have to be able to find you. They have to know what you have to offer. They have to know that your community exists. And if you're in New Mexico, okay, you know Farmington. You see the weather. You hear the good things that's going on up in this direction. But if you're from other states or even other countries, you may not have any idea, other than Connie Mack,
right?
Or
maybe.
Proximity to Route
Grand
60.
Canyon or
something
right?
like that.
Sure, nearby.
So we're trying to put ourselves on the map. But to do that, we have to have things. We have to know our people, know our dirt. And we also have to be ready for the type development that we're putting ourselves out there for. So we have to have sites, be prepared. Some people call it shovel ready. We have to have buildings. We have to have things. Now, we've tried to leverage a lot of the private sector things here. If you go to the Forset website, you can go to, you can search for property by size, location, attributes, infrastructure. You can do those things. Same thing for buildings. You can say, I'm looking for a 5,000 square foot building with 20-foot eave height and garage doors. You can look for that. And if you can look all the way up to any size that you may want, but it doesn't
to see
mean
if it's already built, already available. Sure, existing.
But it doesn't mean it's going to be there. It means you can search. So we see what people are asking for in what the state calls PROs, projects, or RFIs, requests for information.
Okay.
Most places use that terminology. We can see the type of things people are looking for, and we try to have some base level properties and buildings and such for we can respond and compete with.
Right.
We have to do a lot of work because we're deficient on industrial parks. We're deficient on buildings. Now, I'm not necessarily saying we should build 5 spec buildings and let them sit there and be on the hook for. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But what I am saying is that we have work to do in developing the material that we're using to market with. You know, both on the people side, and I just got a brand new workforce study in my hands that is qualitative and quantitative of the workers of San Juan County and the numbers we have,
right?
That tells the story of who we are. We build things as a community, and we traditionally have. We built and operated things. We powered the economy of the United States for 100 years.
Because of the energy part here, sure.
Yeah. So we got a pretty good handle on the type of people we have, the skill sets they have, the type of workers they are. Right. More blue collar in nature. The attributes of the school and the training and the degrees and all the things that could feed into. We've got a pretty good handle on those type things. But we have some work to do on the infrastructure side. We need more sites. We need more shovel-ready sites. It's ready to go. The time to market, we can cut it down where it's not, well, we can build a water line there, or we can build a gas line to that, or maybe we need to do an extension from the substation. Those things take time and money, and usually you get passed by if you're not ready. Right. So we're doing some real work on sites right now with City of Farmington, with San Juan County. We're working with some of our smaller municipalities about planning for the future. And what do they want to be? What do they want to have in their community? Do they want a business park? Do they want a technology park? What do they want for the people of Kirtland or Aztec or Bloomfield? What are they looking for, and how can we help those with those things? So some of it, yes, is forward thinking about what it takes to compete, not just for today, but for 5 years and 10 years from now. But we've got some immediate things going on as well. Right. We've got some real recruitments where it's coming in as a funnel, where you're getting projects coming in, and ideally they're going to, in time, come out the bottom, and you have announcements, and you have more job opportunities. Those things are happening. Right. We're in final conversations now with a company. We've got 3 or 4 other companies we're having conversations with that we're not in the final stages, but we're queuing up and they're asking more specific questions. How many workers? What kind of wages do they get? What is the lease terms for the buildings that you provide us? The type of things that they can actually compare on a quantitative basis to other places,
right,
and see if we make sense for. So the recruitment that we have, it takes time, but it's queued up and it's actually working. It's working, and people are seeing us and exploring us and evaluating us for opportunities we hadn't had in the past.
Right. Well, that tells me that people are learning about Farmington, San Juan County, where we are, what we do, what we offer, because of these efforts that Forset has made, I think, and this could have been 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. You never know kind of when those calls come in, I suppose, what sparked that inquiry, I guess, right? Sometimes they're just a blind call to reach out to you.
And what we found, too, is one thing you said was really important. You said as
really?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
You said as those calls come in, what we found is we have to facilitate those calls coming in.
True.
We got to get out there.
Yeah.
We've got to talk to business and industry. We've got to talk to our existing businesses that maybe have expansion opportunities. We have to talk to the site selectors that are in the business of placing companies in locations. There's so many. We have to go and share who we are, what we have, and why we make sense. We've got to put that card in someone's hand and shake their hand and say, tell me what it takes for your business to be successful. Then let me tell you about my community. Let me tell you about the people that we represent.
Right.
And when we have those opportunities, quite often, it goes well. But you've got to get to that table. You've got to make those connections. If you're simply waiting there in that office, waiting for the phone to ring, or even waiting for the state to send you something, we've got a great relationship with the State Economic Development Office. We can talk about that just in a second. But if you're just waiting for the phone to ring, you're going to be waiting a long time. There's 2,000 other organizations that's doing similar things that we are doing.
Right.
Every day we've got to do something they're not. We've got to shake the hand, put the card in the hand, talk to them, know our people, know our sites, and know the opportunities, and show that we're one united team that's pro-growth, pro-development, but we want growth and development that fits the community, our assets, and the direction we're going as well.
Sure, that makes sense, and very, very proactive, and that's the important part of it.
Yeah.
And probably explains why you have so many frequent flying miles on your accounts, because you are on the go all the time to get in front of those people to make those connections. At least it seems to me.
Well, we try to be strategic about it. It's not about going, and it's not about coming back. It's what you can do while you're there, and who you can be in front of.
Right. Well, you can't be everywhere, but so you have to be strategic as where you're going
and we
and
can't
who you're meeting with.
We couldn't afford to be everywhere as well.
Sure.
But there's a lot of things that we know are the value propositions are there. Each year there's one or two new things that we do as well, trying to expand. For it's not definition of insanity. We're not talking just the same people over and over and over.
Right.
Even though there is a small, tight-knit community of decision makers that drive a lot of projects in the United States. And, site selectors, primarily, there's probably 150 people that we really need to touch, that need to know who we are, what we have to offer, for when something comes across their desk, they may think Tim, but when they do, they're thinking Four Corners, and they're thinking Southwest, and they're thinking energy, and they're thinking people, and they're thinking access to markets, both directions, north or east and west. One interesting conversation I had 2 days ago with a site consultant. They said something like, your access to the Panama Canal. And I was like, I don't need access to the Panama Canal. And they said, excuse me? Well, if my product, if my customer wants to be able to ship through the canal and get both east and west, it's like, we're directly above the Panama Canal. We've got direct access to ports, 12 hours in either direction, Port of Long Beach or in Texas, either direction. You don't have to go through the canal. You can save a third of your shipping costs and save 2.5 weeks for not having to go through the Panama Canal. So if you're a company that's shipping to either to Asia or to Europe, you may not think about us being an ideal location, but you're avoiding the choke point, the expensive point, and you have direct almost same day, 12-hour access to east-west ports.
Major shipping centers, yeah.
They never thought of it, never thought of New Mexico being a middle location where you could go east or west and not have to use the expense or the time of the canal. Interesting.
See, and that's just how your job works, right? Amazing. Very good. Well, Tim Gibbs, I'm sorry to say we're out of time, but we'll talk more about what you mentioned next time. How's that?
Hopefully,
visit with me in September.
Hopefully, we may even have an announcement we can talk about.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
that's a little tease, we call that in this business, right? So,
just a little one.
All right, yeah. Okay. I'll hold you to it, and we'll see what you come back with. How's that?
Yes, sir.
I look forward to these conversations every month. Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you.
That is Tim Gibbs from Four Corners Economic Development, my guest right here on KSJE. Did you enjoy that podcast? We hope that you did. And if you did, share it with your friends. And if you really want to keep podcasts like this coming, please support KSJE. You can do it easily online at ksje.com.